Okay, this is gonna prove to be hard. It's gonna be difficult for me to video, but welcome back, guys. So, trying to do two at once. So we got my transmission here. We're putting in bad marrow today, but Dad's doing some welding on fittings, trying because we didn't have what we needed. And then Jake was just standing, and there's the transmission for the Coffin. So he's like, "Got a table we can tear it down?" So he's doing that. So Shorty PowerGlide is coming apart. Something's in there broken. We'll see. We love a good investigation though, so that's okay. Good mystery. I drained the fluid the other day. It's actually pretty red fluid. Yeah. But there's pieces of metal in it, so. Okay. Hardest part about this transmission.
It's the parking pole. I always have to think about how it goes together because I don't do them every day.
Okay, coming apart. Pump, shaft.
Yep. High gear drum.
High gear drum.
The band.
Band.
Looks good. Band lug, one of them. And then the whole gear thing comes out. This
Holy
is
simplicity. Okay.
That's basically it. You got your ring gear in the back and your reverse clutches back here.
Okay.
That's about all there is to one.
Okay. Further inspection. So pump actually is the problem. That's where the metal we were seeing was coming from.
Right there on the inner gear.
So, just like mine was on the 4L80. But this one, that's got a deep groove in it.
Yeah, right here it's pretty deep on this side.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dad's gonna face this, I guess, in the middle.
Yeah, the gears are a little skewed up right there. It looks like the converter might have been coming too far out and it almost got off the gear and then pushed it, you know, at an angle and made it dig in.
Huh,
So
okay.
Probably need some new gears.
Okay, so that's our problem. Right, that should be the
That's where we're finding a little bit of metal in the pan.
Is that why he was having the issue banging up? Because I didn't have enough pressure
yeah,
when
it
trying?
was probably low pressure at idle, and when we brought it, the RPM up, it made enough pressure.
Made enough pressure. Gotcha. Okay, so that's simple though, so that's good. Okay, so when Jake was here a couple weeks ago, he tore down the transmission, as you saw earlier, and kind of went through and saw what we needed so that way he could send it to us, or I could go pick it up, or whatever. So he has been sending boxes of stuff. And today, first of all, I'll show you the converter in a minute because he built a new converter for it and he gave it a special touch. So then here he sent a new pump half because that was the part that we found was the problem. So as you can see here, all kinds of really bad wear right there. And then you can see that the gears, pump gears, are ate up as well. So he sent a new pump half and then sent new gears and then sent us some stuff to upgrade. And then send us the pieces that we need to make a Transbrake so we can do the burnouts that I keep talking about. So send us valve body plate, all the pieces to change the valve body, and then some instructions on how to do that. Just the rebuild kit itself. So I am getting ready to clean up the disaster that we have going on here, clean up the case and everything, and then get ready to start on the valve body, and then we can go from there. Here, look at the converter. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I had no idea that he was going to, first of all, I didn't realize he was sending a converter, but second of all, I did not realize he was going to paint it hot pink. So it makes my coffin car project look a little less, not quite as scary. But I love it. That's awesome. That is the extra that I need in my life. So I just washed the case off. I got all the other pieces out, got it where I could sandblast it. So I just washed it off and got some of the grease off of it. I sandblast it, get the case nice and cleaned up, and then I'll clean up the rest of the pieces and I'll probably call it good for the day. Okay, got it all sandblasted. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner. I'm gonna have to obviously like wash it and then blow it out and everything just to make sure there's not sand in it. So that's a given. Okay guys, I promise my channel is not gonna be a transmission channel. It's just that that's what I've been doing a lot of lately. So what I'm about to do is start converting the valve body for having a Transbrake. So Jake from Jake's Performance, as I've said a couple times, sent the Transbrake conversion kit. So it comes with a manual that actually looks like super descriptive what we're doing. Basically starting with case modifications, then we're going to do reverse clutch pack modifications, and then machine the actual valve body itself, and then actually assembling it back. So quite a bit of steps, but as you can see, it's got pictures and pretty descriptive and all that. So gonna get started with that, starting on the case. now. Okay, so looking at this case modifications, we're going to start by drilling a couple holes. I'm referring to figures 2, 3, and 4, so that hole. Oh, and this one. So this one and this one, we're going to drill to 1/4 inch. Real quick, before I get any further or show you what I just did, I just want to mention, I know somebody's going to say something about my hair, or the fact that I didn't have on safety glasses, or the fact that I have on jewelry, or whatever. Just please skip that part. Save yourself the trouble of typing the comment. I know when to be safe. I know what to look for. I promise I'm not doing something that I'm going to harm myself. If that comes, I'll know the time. I've grown up in a shop. I've been around it for 23 years. Please, just save yourself the trouble. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Okay, so I've got steps 1 and 2 done, and 3 was just telling us to look. So basically on step 1, you drill this hole out to 1/4 inch, so, and then you take it all the way through the case. So as you can see, now it goes all the way through, and then you drill this one also all the way through 1/4 inch. So got both of those drilled. So then now step 4 is just saying that we drill these holes out to 3/8 of an inch, but we only go halfway through, so it won't go all the way through the case. Now that you know what we did. So I drilled these 2 holes from this side to 3/8 of an inch, and then on the other side, the other 1/2 inch of that is 1/4 inch. That pretty much gets the case modifications done onto the valve body area. Okay, so the next step, moving on to reverse clutch pack modifications. So the first step is just to make sure that there's between 80 and 100 thousandths clearance. Have it set up. I already have figured out how much clearance I have. So I have about 90 thousandths. So I'm going to show you what I have done. So I've got my fibers and my steels stacked up here. Got my feeler gauges. Got my piston in here. And then I've got these alternated like they're supposed to be. And then I'm coming in and got my snap ring and everything in. And we got about 90 thousandths clearance. So that's good to go. So I'm going to disassemble now, because that's all I was doing was checking that, and then move on to the second step of modifying the reverse clutch pack, which is drilling a hole in the reverse piston. So I'm not gonna lie, right here is my first attempt, and I broke a bit off. Love that. So I moved over to this, and then Dad just helped hold it down when I got a little bit deeper, so that way I wouldn't break another one. But got that, and then I just chamfered that as well. Okay, now we're at the point of doing valve body modifications. So this is going to require me to disassemble this, and then we will mount it in the mill, and then Dad will help me get all these different steps done. Not necessarily a small task. Dad is currently clamping the valve body in the machine. As you can see, we've already gone through and marked the spots. So right here is going to be the first one. In the instructions it says we're looking at letter J. It just says to mill 1/4 inch deep in the area indicated. So it kind of gives you like a roundabout like idea of what you're going to do, and then you look at the picture to see what spot in the valve body you do. So this is the first one. So there was some stock supplied, bar stock supplied to make the plug that goes right here, but it's an odd size and didn't exactly have a bit, and it's supposed to be press fit, so Dad's making a new plug. Okay, so the upper half of the valve body is done now. There is actually a lot of steps to this, so just pointing them out. So we cut this passageway, cut this passage, that passage, this passage, drilled here and plugged there. And then you have to make sure this valve, this is a new valve that they supply, you have to make sure that the top of the valve sits flush with that. And then you plug, or you tap this and plug this, and then you've got one more spot to tap and plug right there. So all those steps, got that done, and then now working on the lower half. So last night we got the valve body done. I'm going to go through my PowerGlide book that I got from Jake and kind of lay it out by sections and everything. I gotta soak the clutches. I am gonna go through the book and just do step by step. I've never done helped assemble, been around PowerGlide before, so this will all be knowledge just from the book, and then if I have some questions I can ask Dad or Jake. What I want to start with is doing the valve body first, so getting it reassembled so that way I can close out these instructions and call it good. I'm gonna start on that, get that together, and then we'll go to the actual transmission itself and start assembling from there. Okay, so that basically has all the valves back in the lower valve body. So next is putting plate and then to the upper half valve body next. Basically now, I've got the valve body at a stopping point. Next, before I can install anything else, I have to install the valve body and the transmission itself. I'm going to go ahead and go to the transmission now and start going through cleaning stuff up and putting the transmission, stacking it back together. Okay, so what I've been working on, which probably was hard to see, is installing this and getting the parking pole right. So for me, I've never done this on a PowerGlide. It's semi-complicated because there's all these pieces. This is the instructions that it gives. So then like you gotta get all these right. There's that. So just a lot of pieces. And then getting this is kind of complicated because there's a little spring down here that makes that return. So I have definitely totally dragged this out way too long. So today I'm gonna wrap it up. So I just got the reverse piston in, got the springs, got those compresses you saw, got the reverse clutches in, checked the clearance on those. Now I'm getting ready to do the front pump assembly, and then we'll go back to stacking stuff. Just got the pump assembled, checked the, well, you can't see that side, but the other side, checked to make sure that the pump gears spin freely. So that's done. Now I am moving on to back to assembling and stacking. Okay, so I was just going through the hydrant, and for some reason when Dad had built it, there was one fiber short. So now that we've got 5 fibers like it should have, and not the 4, there's not enough clearance. What I'm ready to do is take this apart, then we're gonna machine the piston down, so that way we can go back to using all thick steels. Then that way I can stack 5 fibers like it's supposed to have. Okay, got all of the pieces that need to be assembled prior to assembling the transmission assembled. So now I'm getting ready to stack the transmission together. I keep saying that, but now it's actually that time. So I just got the high clutch drum assembled, got all the clearances. That's what took a little bit on that. And then the planetaries don't have to have anything done to them, to new gear set. Well, new when the car was built. Pumps all ready together. So going through, I'm kind of cleaning up my mess that I have created, and then we're gonna go to final assembly. Yesterday, I started to install the low band, but didn't because getting later to have full concentration, because it's actually quite a few pieces that need to all line up. I'm going to finish buttoning it up today, so last day, I promise. Okay, so I just got the front pump installed. Getting ready now to put this on the table, back on the table. I put the valve body on, the screen, set the band. So I'm going to clean up the table and get rid of everything that I don't need. And it is finally together. It's taken way too long. So it should be ready to go in the coffin. Fingers crossed that it does work and that it works well. I feel pretty accomplished right now. It's a good feeling. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time. Oh, also, P.S., huge shout out to Jake for 1, being available for questions, and 2, for sending all of the parts to make this happen. So, once again, huge shout out to Jake at Jake's Performance, and now that is it. So, now, again, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time.